Everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, I'm back off being joined once again by Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Last week, Jimmy brought Tricolor Lunch. This week, Jimmy's like, I'm going to just gut that deck and make an aggro version of it. So yeah, this is Jimmy's aggro launch deck. You would saw it either earlier this week or you're going to see it later this week. I don't know. You'll see it eventually. With that being said, there's buttons. Click them. They're there for a reason. Guys, let's get into this.
So, I've seen a deck top recently that was running the launch leader and pieces of the Bardock crew package, and I thought that was super dope. I've been playing around with a bunch of like red tech, specifically the red baby leader from Draft Box 3, was it? Draft Box 2, Draft Box 3? One of the draft boxes. I should know it because it's my favorite leader in the game. And I was playing around with the Bardock crew stuff in there, really couldn't fit anything that I liked. So I seen that list and I said, hey, I'm going to try that out. And I just tweaked some ratios to make it a little bit more my style. And it plays really well. It's just so different for me lately because I've been playing control decks and kind of mid-range. And going into like a super aggro deck is kind of jarring. But if you're not familiar with launch, she's going to be flipping back and forth a lot. Auto, when you combo, you'll draw a card. Then, what the fuck is going on?
Do your profile. Don't ignore me.
What the fuck's going on? You're distracting. So, when you combo with a card, you draw a card. And if it's a specific card, you get to flip a card in your life face up. When a card in your life is flipped face up, you'll draw one card and then flip your leader over. On the backside, she has the same autos here. But she also has the auto that when you swing, you will neg a card by 5,000. So she's a 10k, 5k, which kind of may be intimidating to a player that's not familiar with how this deck works. But really, this is inconsequential, this number here, because the amount of card draw and the amount of times you're flipping and the amount of stuff you can just play for free to no energy makes this number inconsequential. Moving on to our flip targets, you have to run as many of them as you can. I only own 2 of the promos, so that's what I run. Actually, this is one of Tanner's. Shout out to Tanner. But they all will flip a card in your life face up and draw your card off of the combo. This launch will neg something by 5, which is fantastic if your opponent wants to put out like an early cantrip or, put out like a little weenie on turn 1, and then you just respond with this and neg it out. Bulma is a 1-drop cantrip if you want to play her, and then she will flip a card in your life. And this launch is fantastic because you get double use out of it. So if your leader card is 5k, you can combo with her from your drop area, and at the end of the combo, she will go to the warp. But she's fantastic because you get to use her multiple times. You want to see at least like 2 of these in your opening hand and just hope that you're going to see more in the rest of the game. I've had games where I've only seen 1 the entire game, and I've had games where I've seen every single one of them in the game.
Just remember that one launch. Put it into your warp if you activate its main.
Yeah, that's really easy to forget. Especially if you combo more cards and you just like pile up the cards and throw them into your drop area. That's an easy card to forget. Moving on into the Bardock crew package, run 3 of the Pride of the Low Class Warrior. So he is a, kind of like that double strike Kappa style. You strike a life, he gains 11,000. So he's a 15k beater. If you deal damage with him, you restand, look at the top 7, and then play a 1-drop Bardock crew in active mode. Both of these cards cannot attack. So this is really good for building your board. The rest of your Bardock crew has Bond 3, so you want to get as many Bardock crew on field as quickly as possible because only 1 of them in the entire deck, or well, 2 in my list, have unique. So you can just flood the board with these. The other Bardock we run is the promo. This card is fantastic. I will say that if you don't have these, you don't really need them. But they do come in clutch in some matchups.
I mean, they're nice pressure cards.
Oh, yeah. They're fantastic because he also gets the 11,000, but he also gets critical, and then on swing he will neg one of your opponent's battle cards 4,000 for every Saiyan or Bardock crew on your field. So the amount of Bardock crew that you can get and Saiyans on your field that you can get on field, you can neg just about anything in the game, to be completely honest. And again, not unique, so you can just play all 3 of these and have 15k critters for 1 energy and clear the field. It's kind of ridiculous. But like I said, fantastic card, but if you don't have these, don't go out and break your bank trying to buy them. If you have them, run them. If you don't, don't. Just replace them with other good cards. Speaking of other good cards, we got Fasha. Same part. Bancroft's shaking.
Well, I shook my head because you pointed out like a good thing about this card. It just cycles itself potentially.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Shut up, Bancroft. Permanent, same thing. Get the 11k, and then on play you will search top 5, add a Bardock crew to your hand. Fantastic, keeping your hand fresh because you'll be playing a lot of these, and all of them pretty much replace themselves or do enough to warrant losing the card out of your hand.
Or just pull a Jimi and just pull another Fasha to your hand.
Or yeah, you can just I think I've only pulled one non-Fasha card the entire night off of this top 5, which is fantastic. Also, you can grab a Unison, but you don't run a Unison in the deck, so don't worry about it. Borgos is just a one-drop cantrip, replaces himself, and also gets the 11,000. It's just good. I run a one of the Chain Attack Shigesh, only because he's unique, and I don't want these clogging my hand because you can only play one on the field. He gets the 10,000 as well, but he also gains double strike off of the Bond 3. So he's a nice 15k double striker. Just throw it out there if you can, especially with the 5-drop Bardock, which we'll get into. Buffing him up to like 25k and then swinging with him double strike is really, really nice. Moving into the blue Bardock crew package, I run a one of Planetary Invader Tora. When you play him, you just pick up a Bardock crew from your drop area. There's a lot of times that your opponent just wants to clear your board and you might lose a key piece, and being able to just pick it up from the drop area is really nice. Not much else to say about him. Then 2 Borgos. I actually did not really see a blue matchup where this card was relevant, but it's just nice one-drop cantrip, and it's a blue card to combo with for our arrivals. You can play really any blue card in this slot, and no big deal. I just run Bardock crew because it's searchable. The 5-drop Bardock. So he evolves for 1 red energy on top of a Bardock with an energy cost of 1. We have 6 Bardocks in the deck, and they're all searchable and easily grabbable, so you're going to see it. Auto, you search top 7, put a Bardock crew of an energy cost of 1 into your drop area, and then when he swings, you choose a 1-drop in your drop area, play it, and then give 2 of your 1-drops plus 5,000. Fantastic. Like, 1 energy, great pressure, builds the field. I've had, and he's also barrier. I've had matchups where my opponent wipes my field but cannot hit barrier, and then he just builds it right back up and puts the pressure back on. So fantastic card. And there's another card we will get into right now, which is fantastic paired with this card. Burnish Bond's Fasha. She's a critical. If you have a Bardock crew in the drop area, which he already loads one into the drop area, if you don't play it off of the auto skill, you will have one in there no matter what. And then activate main. You can place her in the drop area and then choose a Bardock and switch it to active mode. And these autos are not once per turn. So you can swing with them, give, the +5s and play the 1, restand it with Fasha, then swing again, play another 1-drop, and then go +5s out again. So like I was saying with the double striker Shigesh, you could just give him plus 10k off of this and get 2 20k attacks plus flood your board even more. Just a fantastic package. I run a one of the Super Saiyan Goku.
You saw that both times in our matchup. What the heck?
I had like 8 cards left in my deck at the end of that game. You draw your entire deck with the launch, dude. Unique, 1-drop cantrip, and then activate main. Remember to activate main before you swing. I've had some issues where I just turned the card sideways. My opponent's like, "Did you activate main?" I was like, "Yeah, I did, totally." But he becomes a 25k attacker. Great finisher, great to clear some problem cards off the field for 1 energy. Just, it's really good. Again, has the unique tag, so I don't want to run more than 1. Which, you might argue that you want to run more of this because it's not searchable by any of your cards because they're all Bardock crew. But I think you draw enough in launch that seeing your 1-ofs is not a big deal, obviously. Run 4 beer super combos, just really to put coolers out and your Hercule booze. If you have a multicolor on turn 1, it's nice to just throw it into your energy so you have a untapped target with Beerus. But with as fast as some matchups are, putting a card in rest mode on turn 1 is kind of not viable, and then especially you can't do it late game. So a lot of times I'm just using this to combo these guys out and not getting the untap, which sucks, but it is what it is. Cooler has been like the MVP of like every launch build that I've played. You neg 2 battle cards, 10,000, and then mill your opponent 1 card, and that is ignoring barrier. It's just fantastic. There's way too many skills on this card for 1 energy. It just costs 1 red energy to rival him, and it's just fantastic. Hercule Boo, he's good, but I play him a lot less than I do Cooler. If I could run 2 more Cooler, I would. But, you know, Dragon Ball has to have its limits, right? But you draw a card, neg something 10,000, and then you can choose to pick up a battle card other than Hercule Boo. I have resolved that once, I think. And I think it was on camera last week against Matt. Is the first time I've ever actually picked up something with Hercule Boo. But I just run them because there's not really a better red-blue arrival card in the game. Moving into support cards for Sensubean. You know what Sensubean does. If you don't watch this video. 1 Topo because I just wanted to run 1 Topo. 3 Violent Ray because this card is just ridiculous. It's dumb. Cards like this should not exist in this game, but they're here, so you have to run them. Run 2 Whis. I've always sang praises about this card. It's just a dimension magic for non-blue leaders. And since I sometimes put blue energy in the energy area, I like to have this card because not a lot of people expect it. Because most people don't expect to see a blue negate in a red deck. So I've caught a lot of people off guard by negating with that and also getting to keep that energy open. And usually that energy is spent on Supreme Kai. I actually didn't know I was running this card until I was shuffling the deck today, and I was like, oh, there's my Supreme Kai. I guess I left it in my launch sleeves. I was originally going to run Heroine's Lineage, but I saw this card, and I was like, I haven't played that card in a while. I'll run this.
That made a huge... All right.
That made a huge what?
Difference.
Yeah, it did make a huge difference, didn't it?
Yep. Well, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hey, Jimmy, real quick, can you tell us what your pronouns are? Because I felt like there was a comment about...
Well, if I'm not ready for this question.
I believe Jimmy is a he, him.
You are correct.
Yeah.
So our launch player is a he, him.
The launch player is a he, him.
Yeah.
Just had to clarify that.
Hey, we got a Patreon coming out. $15 tier. I'll shave my arms and send you the hair.
There's buttons on the screen. Click them. Fluff.
As always, read your cards, know your place. Let us make the mistakes so you don't have to, and fluff out.